It's time now for my next guest. Now, after appearing in nearly 1,000 episodes of EastEnders as Hardman Grant Mitchell, he sets off around the world meeting real-life gangsters and criminals, and his efforts won him the BAFTA for Best Factual Series. Last year, he was on the front line in Afghanistan, and the series is just about to be released on DVD. Will you please welcome the man himself, Mr. Ross Kemp? Ross, welcome back.
Good to be back.
How you doing, sunshine? Yeah,
I'm good. I've just come back from Los Angeles.
Yeah.
Where we're making another gang, probably last gang series. We're running out of gangs.
Of gangs.
And off to Africa on Sunday to do another one.
Oh, yeah? You don't stop, do you?
I love it. I like travelling.
Yeah. Listen, thanks for hosting the series for me.
It was, honestly, truthfully, that is one of the most nerve-wracking places. I've been to some dangerous places, but that is terrifying. I was so scared.
Why?
I was.
Well, you said...
It's a tough job. I mean, you do it naturally, and you're obviously you're brilliant at it, but it's not an easy seat.
Do you know what I do? I just pretend I'm sat in my kitchen chatting.
Yeah, but that's not easy to do, because you're on live television.
Yeah, but I ignore that, you know what I mean? No, really, yeah. I do. Just think me Auntie Annie's watching and that's it, nobody else. Seriously.
But I did enjoy it. I loved it. I loved it. I really did. Didn't think I would. And it's one of those things that afterwards you wish you'd enjoyed it more.
Yeah, yeah.
Because it was like...
Ross, the first time I did it was any consolation, I sat like this.
But that's how I was. That's how I was.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
And it's a skill in itself, you know, to make it look that relaxed. And I wasn't. I was like...
A bit different from the front line in Afghanistan, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure which one I prefer. Very different.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Somebody's going...
I think you have a fan club here.
There is one out there.
Yeah, yeah. All giggling, look at them. Yes, yeah. Oh, look. Her eyes are like chapel hat pegs and she's salivating. Look at her. Look, they're like football studs. They're out here. Calm down, missus. Did you have to do a lot of training before? Because I've watched this.
Yeah, that was part of the proviso from the MOD and from the head of the 1st Battalion, the Royal Anglians, that we had to, Stuart Carver, we had to be familiar with the weapon systems, all of them, with the vehicles, and also, just to be... I've put a bit of weight on since, but we had to be fit enough to stay with these guys for 19-hour patrols. And once they're out on the ground, there's no... taxi, please get me out of here. Yeah. If they're out on the ground for 30 days, you have to stay with them. But
and the regiment...
Thankfully, it wasn't that long when we were out with them most of the
time. So 19-hour patrols?
Oh, sometimes longer.
I mean, that's a joke, 19...
And they're young, these are incredibly fit, very bright young men who I'm incredibly proud of, and I have to say, to one and all that I met out there, whether they were the RAF or the British Army, or, you know, MOD, intelligence, across the board, they're doing a fantastic job, and I hope the film, and as much as I can do to help and praise them, will get through to people what a brilliant job they're doing.
Yeah.
Not me, them.
But you know what got me, Ross, watching it? The age of them.
They're baby. Oh, they're not babies.
Kids.
They're men.
Yeah, but they're very young men, aren't they? And you think...
But think about that.
Yeah.
Just think about it. They're 18-year-old... I would say boys. I mean, I think I'm fully developed now as a human being, but, you know, certainly not at 18.
Yeah.
And to be... I'm not about to prove how developed I am, Paul. Where'd you get them from?
Oh, they come in for the war and we let them stay, you know what I mean? We just round them up. Look at that, look, she's gone bright red now. Aye, dirty ticket, you might well go bright red sitting there, pleating your sweater.
Anyway, back to the serious point, you know, what we've got to understand as a country, that if we're going to put these very young people in that kind of environment, that we've got to look after them when they come back, because it's not just the ones, you know, that I saw that lost limbs or their hearing or their eyesight. It's also the ones that have just seen very damaging stuff.
Yeah.
You know, one thing that the Americans are learning from Vietnam and Korea, and as we had hopefully learned from Korea and also from Northern Ireland, is that the long-term damage, and from the Falklands, the long-term damage is not easy to equate when they first come back, to realise what it is. You can't evaluate that immediately, because sometimes it takes some time for it to hurt or affect that person. Yeah. And so, you know, I don't say we've got a ticking time bomb going on, but some of those people, it's not just the ones that are physically damaged, some of them are mentally scarred, and we have to put provisions away for the future.
Yeah. Do you know what gets me? When they come back, some of them, and you see pictures of them in the papers, and they're marching down an empty street.
Yeah,
there's nobody out. That's disgusting. It costs nothing to get out and go, yeah, you know what I mean?
Well, I think that depends on the local councils as well. Some of the local councils weren't prepared to allow the officers to carry their swords. Well, that's part of their uniform.
Yeah.
They should be allowed to carry them. But, you know, I personally would like to see those councillors go out to the front line and see what those boys do.
Yeah, yeah. No, right. It's annoying, isn't it? When they start this nitpicking, you're not doing it. You think, look where they've just been. Look what they've just seen, what they've just done.
But you think everyone in this audience is in agreement. You're in agreement. These guys, obviously.
Yeah.
It's not rocket science, is it? To appreciate people that have been spent 6 months in a war zone.
That's why we don't work for local council. So you see, you have to be a bit. No, really.
Well, but why are they running these councils?
Oh,
you know?
God, I don't know. How could it...
Don't get me on it.
Don't get me started on that. Do you think that... Can you see the situation out there improving?
Yeah, I mean, we were only out there for a very short window, in total just under 3 months. But we saw things changing. Sangin DC, you know, it's coming back to regular normality. You can bear in mind that when the powers were out there the first time, I mean, they were dropping in 2,000-pound bombs under 100 metres from the walls.
God, yeah.
I mean, and they were getting the blast. When we were there, you know, it looks like Stalingrad. It looks like something out of the Second World War. I mean, it's totally flattened. And they're very hardy people, the Afghans, the ones that I met. And, you know, they don't want, I don't think they want us or they want the Taliban or anybody else in their country. They want to live in their country peacefully the way they have done. Well, they don't live very peaceful lives because of the drugs and the problems they have there historically. But I think they'd rather be left alone, but while we're there, I think everybody's trying to do a good job. It's all well meant, and it will take a long time, though. I'm not sure exactly, but Camp Bastion 2 is being built, and it will take 6 to 7 years to build. And if you're thinking about building a camp for 6 to 7 years, that means you're planning on staying there longer than 7 years.
Yeah.
So it's an ongoing process. It will take time. There's no quick fixes, and, you know, someone has to come up with some way of dealing with the poppy crop there, because those people, that's their living. They've lived that way for centuries. And if you can't tell someone, you can't tell a Norfolk farmer who's been on that land for 200 years to suddenly stop growing wheat.
Yeah.
You know, that's what he does. That's, you know, inside him, that's what he does. So there's massive problems out there. Hopefully I'm going to go back to see what changes have been made later in the year, if the MOD allows. They've been very good to us. I think a 16-hour assault will be on the rip then, so hopefully we'll go out and meet those guys and see what's happened in the year, and just see whether the sacrifices that have been made by the families and by the soldiers themselves, whether it's been worth it or not.
Yeah. Oh, well, look, let's have a look at a clip, eh? Bear, please.
Just been here. We're in the open. Oh, you... Get down. Let's get behind that wall. Run low, get behind the wall. What's that? That was an RPG, just flew right over our heads. Can you tell me how you found out about Robert's death?
The doorbell went. I was thinking, please let it be the police. Something's happened in the road. You know, let it be the police. But as soon as I opened the door, he didn't have to say any more. And my first words were, just tell me it's not the worst.
She's an amazing lady, amazing family. Amazing family.
I found that very upsetting when I was watching this, you know, and the families were waving the kids off. I just thought, oh.
You know, it's not just men fighting at war, it's the families, their children, their parents, predominantly, you know. It's not just one thing, and what we have to appreciate is that, you know, it's not just if a soldier dies or is injured, it's not just him. It's the family around him, the people that are supported by him, and the effect it has, you know, on even on his distant family or his friends, his close friends. So, you know, hopefully the film is rounded enough to encompass everything. Though we went in, you can't go into, you could go on that subject forever.
It's quite shocking when I was watching it, you know. And
oh, you know, people say to me, what was the hardest thing about being in Afghanistan? And I say it wasn't. It was meeting the Foster family, you know, or the other families, the Bonner family, the Gray family. They're the hardest things. Looking into the eyes of those mothers that have just lost their kid.
Yeah. No, don't.
But, you know, having said all that, I'll go hark back again. You know, they're doing a fantastic job. British Army historically have always worked in adversity and done it brilliantly, and you know, we have this Cuddy generation that continually manited Nintendo playing. You want to see bright, intelligent young men, then you know, go and look at the British Army, because most of them are that.